The International Monetary Fund predicts food costs will keep climbing into next year. So, how is China affected? Well, Einar Tangen joins me now from Beijing. He's a political and economic affairs commentator. Good morning, Einar. Always good to see you.
Good to be seen.
Hi there. So, the UN reports food prices are nearly 30% higher in April from 1 year ago, and as we hear, set to climb even further. What's the situation like, though, in China?
Well, China has been prepared. I mean, not only historically. I mean, if you look at the different dynasties, they basically fell when they were unable to provide grain food for the people. So historically, it's been there. But China has been concentrating on this for the last few years. A lot of this is in terms of climate change, where there's an expectation that the amount of land, arable land, will go down dramatically as areas which have been traditionally breadbaskets, estuaries, where the rivers meet the sea, will be in fact engulfed. Your earlier program talked about how you can kind of change that, but this is a very big issue. So China has consistently been increasing the amount, especially grains, that they've done. If you go back to 2003, China was producing 430 million metric tons. Today it's at 600, and the goal is by 2025 to be 700 million metric tons. But still, even with that, China imports a tremendous amount of food. It's one of the number one importer of soybeans and corn and all, etc. They were very much affected by the Ukraine crisis. So right now, China is doubling down on the kind of uncertainty created by this situation with the war, and also with the energy crisis, as well as food.
And part of the reason food prices are rising all around the world, though, is also the cost of fertilizer itself. Russia, a big producer, and so is China. Do you see China perhaps increasing exports of fertilizer to help boost global supplies?
Well, yes, but China is in a situation where if you're trying to grow more, you're going to need more fertilizer. But obviously, it's an opportunity, not only from an economic point of view, but China thrives on stability. They need trade. I mean, to have inflows and outflows, you need to have not only the infrastructure in terms of physically moving things around, but you also need to have peace, stability, predictability. And right now, those things are in very, very short supply.
Einar, the COVID outbreaks and lockdowns and, supply chains have been blamed on rising production costs of consumer goods. If the situation continues to worsen, could you see it affecting food prices in China eventually?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's always an indirect cost. I mean, if you're making machinery and there's a high demand for it, and the prices of materials are going up, that is going to affect the end consumer, because whoever is buying that machine to produce more obviously is going to have to pass on those costs. Yeah, so overall, people have to understand that economies are pyramids. At the base of it are your necessities: food, energy, water, these types of things. We've taken those things for granted over the years. Sometimes price fluctuations have said, well, you can't have as much pork as you want, but there are always alternatives. Today, we face the grim reality that because of unpredictability of the situation in Ukraine, that we have shortages. And that's why you're seeing these dramatic increases in predictions for what is going to be a very, very terrible situation, especially for developing countries. They don't have the money that Europe and America has in order to do that, and they haven't had the ability to plan the way that China has.